Yo dudes, you guys big on corporate life? Yeah, me too. For years of working in various tech companies as a software engineer, I've accumulated many anecdotes that I now get to share with you. Some of these are related to technology and software engineering. Some of these are just funny things that happened to me at work. Alright, let's go. So I worked at Twitch for about 2.5 years before quitting involuntarily. During this time, I did some brand safety stuff, which basically meant advertisers can say I don't want to put my ads on the big Danger Man streams. I actually don't know if the team or the feature still exists anymore. But yeah. So most of the stuff I wrote was backend code. So unless I drew some boxes and yapped for 10 minutes, to the average person, it's like I made nothing. Thankfully, I had the chance to write some iPhone code that is clickable. Let me show you guys. I hope they didn't delete it due to it leaking data or something. So as a streamer on iPhone, you can change your stream category. So you do a little click, click, and bam. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I remember trying to get different games with different title lengths to see if the UI would explode. Thankfully, mobile engineers with way bigger brains than me handled all that formatting stuff, so I didn't have to do anything insane to get this one out of the oven. Since this was a UI on iPhone, we had to go through accessibility review, meaning the code had to be written in a way that screen readers could pick up the readable text and could speak it to the users. Oh yeah, there's also this credit section you can navigate to. This was a tutorial task for people interested in mobile. That's me, with a duh. So one coveted piece of web real estate is the actual Twitch stream, the video feed. And you guessed it, I slapped a little something there as well. So if you happen to be streaming and have sponsored content, like getting a cool tenor from Activision to stream Call of Duty or something, you'd have to disclose that you're doing that. I got to make the little indicator that shows up and cycles every few hours or so to let the users know that they're technically watching an ad. The React team that handles what code goes in deep fried my code like a Twinkie at a state fair. Honestly, totally deserved. I wrote some abominations on my first few drafts. This was a year or so before ChatGPT, so I couldn't even blame AI hallucinations. Anyways, this front-end project was actually kind of cool since it sits in a place all users would see and displayed critical information. We had to go through localization, which ends up being different even amongst English-speaking countries due to the differences in legal verbiage. Okay, so that was like the serious work stuff. There was some funny stuff that happened too. So Twitch staff have an indicator on their profiles when they go into Twitch chat. In bigger streams, there's usually more than one staff, so people don't really notice. But in smaller streams, it's possible to get spotted. It's kind of funny when we get pointed out. I think like one time I sat in a stream and chat was like, yo, there's a staff. We gotta be on our best behavior. I don't know what guy was on about. I had like 0 mod power. There's no magical timeout box I can send people to. At least I don't think there was. This leads nicely into the next piece of lore. So there's 2 sweaters you can get as an employee. People typically wrote their Twitch handles on them. One you get when you first join, and a nicer one when you've worked for 2 years. The food at Twitch was pretty good. There was a whole culinary team with a lead chef. I started going to the office during COVID, so the food service ramped up over time. Once it did though, it was kind of nuts. I have some pictures here. Dude, there was like fried catfish. I didn't even know you can eat that. I thought it was just a landmine you can step on dating apps. So people played a lot of games. The popular ones were definitely there, like League and Valorant. There were some people that were also gacha enthusiasts. I remember this one senior engineer showing me his FGO account and he had like NP5 Ishtar or something. Honestly, super valid. There was this one time our team had an offsite and I got to talk to everyone in person. At what point the conversation landed on what time people woke up. I mentioned I woke up like 4 or 3:30 a.m. usually, and people were like, what are you even doing then? And I was like, that's when the gacha dailies reset. And technically it's 1 a.m. PT for Hillverse games, but yeah, I think that got some giggles. But like, dude, honestly, if you farm twice a day, it's incredibly efficient. Oh yeah, so did we get any freebies? So no free Twitch Prime, no free Twitch Turbo. I don't think we got any free games. Since we were part of Amazon, we got like $100 in Amazon credits each year, so that was kind of cool. You can sign up for a lottery to go to TwitchCon, all expenses paid to be a volunteer. I think the tickets were free for all staff. Oh yeah, there was this one time I walked by some people clearing out old merch in a closet at the office. The dude handing things out was really nice and gave me a box of goodies, so I got this blanket from that random encounter. There's some collab merch they gave out that I guess either didn't happen or they had some leftovers. But the strongest apparel I got from that was probably this Jack in the Box X Twitch sweater. It's very bright so cars can notice me at night. Maybe. Alright, so that was Twitch. I then went to Spotify in New York to do some ad server stuff. So if you're listening to Spotify for free, the interruptions are like all me. So you guys might be wondering if anything fun happens when a big artist like Taylor Swift releases an album. Well, it's really fun for all the fans at the company, but it's a skill check for all the engineering teams. So to get ready for traffic, I think people set up ways to talk it out in case their service kabooms. As far as I remember, my team was alive and well during her 2024 album. I think we had a Slack channel that was dedicated to the album, and there was a sort of listening party or something. So you got people's live reactions to the songs. I think some people were big fans, so they were having an emotional experience in the 200 something people Slack. I did end up listening, but I think I went in with different expectations because for the Florida song, I assumed it was going to be about Florida man and the swamps. But I think the song was about something else, so there was that. So one neat perk about Spotify for new hires was they flew everyone to Stockholm for a mini conference to meet people and tour the city. You get to listen to executives talk about the company too. That was a pretty fun trip. I think the Stockholm architecture was very nice. I got to go to IKEA, this war museum that had a few guns I recognized from Battlefield. I looked at the Stockholm office, ate some free food. The hotel they had us staying at had a breakfast buffet, so I just ate a lot of that. To be honest, I didn't actually walk around Stockholm that much, maybe for an hour or so each day. I kind of went back to the hotel, did my dailies, and passed out. But yeah, I think I'd recommend traveling there. It's very relaxing. Their McDonald's was pretty good too. They had the shaker fries. Oh yeah, I'll talk a bit about something I worked on. So I wrote this one endpoint for calculating the max amount of money we can spend on an ad, given like a gajillion constraints and some stuff with time. Dude, it was like actually a greedy algorithm. I didn't actually think I'd have to do that in real life, like ever. I think one of the coolest things about the office was the location. It's in one of the World Trade Center buildings, and our team was on the 69th floor. No, I didn't pick it. Oh yeah, one pretty cool perk the company had was we got $1,000 each year we could spend on food. Like any food, so groceries, restaurants, maybe Uber Eats. I think in the end, I went with some friends to eat unlimited crabs, so I spent all the doubloons I had before I went to my next job. Okay, so this leads nicely into my current job at Meta. So the job had me move from New York to the Bay Area since that's the location on the description. But it turns out my team had people in New York all this time. It also turns out Meta lets people work from anywhere their team has members. My boss found out and did me a solid and was like, dude, do you want to just go back? And I was like, yeah, I think I got too accustomed to the loud noises in New York, so now it's unsettling to try and sleep in an apartment in the suburbs. Anyways, I ended up moving to Redwood City, which I picked because like 2 workers from Twitch named it. It turns out to be an incredible place. If you're a family man, like this is prime child rearing location. There are schools, I think, ice cream places, a street that children can walk on, and a huge courtyard they play movies on for free. Yeah, I think I paid the premium on bonus content that I didn't end up using. It wasn't all doom and gloom though. I lived right next to the In-N-Out, so there's a constant ray of hope beaming through the shutters each night. Actually, that's probably the light pollution. Right, so actually working at Meta. So I'm in the mobile config team. We store all the A/B testing stuff on your phone. Technically mandatory download, sorry everybody. So as far as I know, I haven't caused any bottom line plummeting incidents yet, but the career is still young, so you never know. So we have a lot of meetings at the company, and we have these meeting rooms you can book from the calendar app. You can set reoccurring meetings that just books the same room over and over again. This sounds great on paper, but when people don't show up sometimes, the rooms are still displayed as booked, and it happens to like a very large number of rooms during prime working hours. So if you got a sudden meeting, you could be running around the office looking for a room, laptop in hand. Therefore, if you're feeling adventurous, you could hop in a booked room and hope the owner doesn't show up. It's like a 50-50 between whether it's a freebie or a free ejection during a one-on-one with your manager. So occasionally, I need to screenshot stuff for work. It'd be like a shot of Facebook or Instagram. So if IG, there could be new characters for whatever gacha game I'm playing. Usually it's fine, but on occasion with more explicit designs, I think I might be risking it all with the images I take. But so far, there hasn't been any HR violations. But you truly never know. There was this one time I ran with the Meta team at a JP Morgan company run event. It was like 3.5 miles, so a 5K. It was kind of fun since I hadn't done medium distance races before. My score was okay, I think like 28 minutes with no permanent injuries. This one took place at the Chase Center in San Francisco. It was between a bunch of companies in the Bay Area, so I got to see all the merch designs different companies had. It was kind of an out of body experience when the MC was hyping people up by their company names. I was thinking to myself, okay, yeah, now I am truly a corporate man, real capitalism on this one. After the race concluded, we could mingle with people in the Chase Center and get some free food from concession. At this point, it was like 9 p.m. or something, so way past my bedtime. I ate the freebie, Ubered home, and passed out. Great experience. I think I'd do it again. So yeah, those are all the big stories I had. Hopefully I stay employed so I can do more of these in the future. But yeah, that's pretty much it. See you later, bruh.